Welcome back. Welcome back. Week 0 spectacular game day 502 96.1 FM 1450 AM.
Yes, sir.
WXVW is in the building. Rashawn Myers J has more
In the
shenanigans.
building.
4521 Bardstown Road. It is going down here. The drinks are flowing.
Michelob Ultra.
Mick Ultra for Jay. And you got a little rum and cranberry juice for me. I feel very upscale.
Female drink.
I feel very upscale. It's very nice.
Phoebe male.
My kidneys are thanking me. So there we go. I love it. But hey, Jay, we got so much to get into. We're gonna have a very action-packed, jam-packed last 45 minutes or so of the show. We got college football coming to you tomorrow. Here is the lineup for those who were wondering. I wanted to go ahead and make sure you know what's going down. So, of course, noon tomorrow, 12 p.m., the first college football game of the year. We have Florida State Seminoles in Dublin, Ireland, taking on your Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, of the Rambling Wreck themselves. Florida State is a 10.5-point favorite, according to ESPN Bet. So that'll be going on with an over/under total of 55.5. So in my personal opinion, I say take the over because Georgia Tech can score, and Florida State's going to have to score to keep up. So I would see that.
You said Florida got to keep up.
Yeah,
Florida State's tough, man.
I mean, how do you know what Florida State's going to be? They're replacing their quarterback.
They had one down year in the last.
And the last time we saw them, Georgia beat them by 1,000. Now, that doesn't mean anything, but all I know is that Florida State's bringing in a whole new quarterback. They got a whole new situation going on there. They lost almost their whole defensive line to the NFL draft. So I don't know I don't know what Florida State's going to look like.
They always rebuild.
Absolutely. But, I think that they've had a lot of issues at quarterback. And they finally had some stability at quarterback for the last couple of seasons.
They had a huge injury, was it last year?
Yeah, with the kid that was from UofL who transferred over. So, they're breaking in a new quarterback. Georgia Tech already has a proven quarterback. Haynes King was one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC last year. So, while Florida State is ranked number 10 and the 10.5-point favorite, in my personal opinion, if, I'm going to give a bit of betting advice, for this early week 0, I'm going to say take Georgia Tech and take those 10.5 points. I definitely think that Georgia Tech is going to keep that closer than 10.5 points. Ooh. I could see Florida State winning the game. Like, I definitely think Florida State can win the game, but, it would not surprise me for that to be like a 34-31 game, 42-38, something like that. Like, I could definitely see that being a high-scoring game where Florida State has to hold on or come back to win it. Georgia Tech is really good. Their defense isn't great, but they can definitely score.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think that it's going to be a much better game than I think a lot of people expect for it to be. But that'll be your noon kickoff on ESPN. That's going to be on the 4-letter network, so make sure you check that out. Then, of course, you have New Mexico, Montana State. That'll be going down at 4 p.m. New Mexico is actually Montana State is a 14-point favorite in that game, which is wild to me because I don't even know if Montana State is Division I. I don't know if they're D1 or not, if they are FBS. But Montana State is the favorite, 14 points there, over under total of 54.5. Don't really know much about either of those teams, but with it being a West Coast game, I'd say take the over because those West Coast games, especially early in the season,
I don't like them West Coast
shootouts.
Games.
They usually just score a bunch of points. It'd be like, 55, 51, something crazy. So I'd say take the over on the Montana State. But if y'all lose, don't come fussing at me because hey, these bet at your own risk. Next we have at 8 p.m. CBS Sports Network. Another new to the ACC.
Who's that?
SMU.
SMU, yeah.
Taking on Nevada. That's going to be at Nevada. SMU is a 27-point favorite on the road. I'm going to be honest with you. I like SMU to win the game, but I love taking Nevada and getting 27 points at home. I mean, that game is in Reno. I would say that I fully expected SMU. They have a high-powered offense. They have one of the better quarterbacks expected to be in the ACC this year. Returning, they have a lot of their offense returning. I believe they have 8 or 9 starters back from their offense from last year. So I do expect that SMU is going to be very good. But I just love the Wolfpack getting 27 points on the at home. Like, don't get beat by 30. Yeah. That's your only job. Yeah. And you at the crib. Yeah. So give me Nevada. I'm laying. I'm gonna take all 27 of them points. I would also take the over on that with the over. They like 55. All these games, Georgia Tech, Florida State's 55 and a half. Montana State, New Mexico's 54 and a half. SMU, Nevada's 55 and a half. And the last game of the night, Delaware State at Hawaii, which Hawaii plays every week 0. They play every year in week 0. That one is also an over and under of 55 and a half. Hawaii is a 40 and a half point favorite in that game. The Rainbow Warriors. You know, Jay, I used to live out there on the island. I used to go to those Hawaii home games, those Hawaii football games.
What Gilligan Allen is?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Them people out there love their football.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Like football, high school football, college football is like a religion there on the island of Oahu. They love their football. They love their Rainbow Warriors. High school football is big time. They have huge stadiums. So definitely a great following out there. I expect for Hawaii to put the beat down on Delaware. So I'd say take Hawaii, lay the points. They're going to blow out Delaware State.
Really?
Yeah. So, chalk it up. So
Delaware State.
But they don't run the Delaware offense, so don't get too excited, Jay. They don't run the Delaware offense, but So I'm sorry, but those are your week 0 matchups. But it's football, right? We got football. We got live football on the air tomorrow. I am so excited. I am hyped. It is going down. I mean, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what's happening. Now, Jay, if you were a betting man, who would be, do you like my spreads on there? Like, what do you think about this Florida State Georgia Tech game? You think Florida State's gonna get it done, or do you like Georgia Tech and upset?
On Georgia Tech upset.
Okay, so not only the cover, but you got them for the win.
Yes, sir. Win.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I like Georgia Tech. I like Georgia Tech in the matchup, and everybody knows that Ireland loves Georgia Tech. Ireland, Dublin is the sister city of Atlanta, Georgia. So there's a lot of Georgia Tech fans in Dublin, Ireland. I have no idea if that's true. I completely made it up. But it's a possibility. There's always a possibility. That's true. But no, I agree with you. I really like it. Until I see what Florida State looks like, replacing as much as they lost. I mean, Jared Verse was one of the best defensive linemen that have played at Florida State in the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, he was an all-world pass rusher. They had 3 guys on that defensive line that got drafted to the NFL, I believe. So, while I do understand that Florida State is one of those teams that tends to replace a lot of talent, let's not forget, Jay, before these last couple of years where they finally got it together, they were struggling. Florida State was about to fire their coach. They were about to fire their coach a few years back. So, I just think that it might be putting the cart before the horse to just automatically think that Florida State's going to get it together. So
Florida State's tough, man. I mean, they have maybe down here.
We're going to see.
Man.
I don't know if I'm a believer yet. The who's that used to say, is that the Monkeys that said, I saw her face and now I'm a believer? Yeah. Wasn't that song?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not a believer yet. You know what I'm saying? And I could definitely leave
Florida State's tough, boy. Tough.
But we'll see. But, I just love it because, I mean, the everything gets started early. We'll get it going. Of course, we'll be out. The Wake Up 502, of course, comes to you 9 to 11 a.m. But then we will, quickly be going to one of our local establishments to watch one of the games. Of course, we come out here to more Shenanigans, 4521 Bardstown Road. Plenty of beautiful high-definition television screens to watch the game. You have the Shirley's Way slots over there, so you can get you some slots action in.
Yes, sir.
You can get some great food. wonderful drinks. My cranberry and rum is wonderful, so you can get that, or you can get Michelob Ultra or something like that. So you have a lot of different ways you can go with it. Come out here. They don't open. They won't be able to. The noon games will not be open. I don't believe that more Shenanigans. What time they open? 3:30, 4, something like that. So they get done. But the second window of games, you would definitely be able to come out, watch those. You'd be able to watch that 8 o'clock kickoff for SMU in Nevada. So make sure you check that out as well. But I tell you what, Jay, we got about 30 minutes left in the show. I really wanted to start to look at, well, first of all, before we get into to get back into Louisville football, I gotta ask you, man.
Yes, sir.
What's up with Coach Prime? What's up with now? This is your man. Now you was wearing all the Colorado gear, and you got the Coach Prime sweatshirt, and you was walking around talking about how much you love Coach Prime.
We coming.
So I'm letting y'all know something. There was an announcement
at a press conference.
In a press conference that Deion Sanders said that he will no longer be taking questions from
CBS.
Open media. Okay,
CBS
particularly, but that the only media people that he will have conversations with are going to be pre-approved. So if Deion Sanders did not pre-approve you, you cannot ask questions. What do you think about that? I ain't even gonna say that. I'm just gonna ask you, what do you think about Coach Prime doing that?
I think Coach Prime kind of lost his mind a little bit and just coach. And that shows me that you not coaching, man. You worried about Deion Sanders and media. Let the people do that's their job.
Yeah.
You're not letting them do their job, Deion. You're trying to control everything. I think you're a little bit too controlling. Seriously. I mean, you're not like a Jeff Brom. You don't have enough steward like Jeff Brom. Yeah, you played for the Cowboys. You did this, did that. You won Super Bowl and all that. Okay, we get that. But man, sometimes, man, things are just not for people.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say this, Jay.
Deion is way out of his league.
Deion Sanders loved all the attention when Colorado was 3-0, and you had
all the rappers,
and all the rappers. And you had The Rock on the sidelines, and you had everybody, going crazy. But as soon as they started losing, now Deion don't like the media because the media are mean to him and said that he can't coach. Well, guess what? Like, if you want people to say that you can coach, guess what? What you got to do, Jay, to prove you can coach? What's the only thing you got to do?
Coach.
Win games.
Well, yeah, you ain't been doing that, Deion.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if don't go 3-9. Like, Deion was like, what? No, he wasn't 3-9. He was 4-8. He was 4-8 last year. Don't go 4-8.
He had to get off his line to protect his son.
Well, that's what he said. He was already, like, mid-season, he was like, man, all these dudes suck, and I'm going to get all new offensive linemen.
I just don't think he can coach.
He's talking about his own players, Jay.
I know.
He's talking about kids that are going out there every week, blood, sweat, and tears, and he was up there
busting
talking about,
I'm
replacing all these dudes because they terrible.
Boy, he's rotten, man.
Like, Deion is getting a very, like, the one thing I will say, and I learned this from Barry Bonds when he was going through all his issues and situations. You never want to fight with the media because you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Like, if you fight with the media, it's not going to end well for you. Because at the end of the day, the people that write about you, they control the narrative. Whatever story.
Like you?
Huh?
Like you did with Coach Pitino? You went off on Coach Pitino, Pitino went off on you in a press conference?
Yeah, hey. And who looked bad? He did.
Yeah.
He's the one that looked bad. He's the one that got up and ran out of the press conference. I was good. But guess what, Eric? Guess what? Nobody remembers me, but guess what? They remember Bobby Petrino running up out that press conference, don't they?
Yes, they do.
To this day. And all I did was ask a question.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to be like, really? Really? That's the question you're going to ask? Really?
Yeah,
yes,
really.
Yes, Coach, really. How the hell did Lamar Jackson get sacked 7 times by Kentucky? Like, how did that happen? You got Lamar Jackson. The dude got sacked 7 times. That's a problem, Coach. Like, I don't think that's ridiculous.
That's a problem.
So I mean, no, but I think Dion is going to learn the hard way that
Going
this
to.
stance of I'm only going to talk to media. So what if you're on ESPN? If somebody on ESPN says something bad about Deion Sanders, what, you gonna not talk to ESPN now? You're gonna refuse? Like
I can't stand Stephen L. Smith either.
I mean, that's a whole.
He was never athletic. He was never athlete. He keep thinking like he came out of high school, the McDonald's All American.
Stephen A.
And you
Smith
became
said
rich
he'll
out of
cross
high
you
school.
up. He said he'll cross you up.
He'll do what?
He'll cross you up.
Yeah, I cross him up with these. He ain't intimidate me how the way he do things. He intimidates people on that media, man. The fear factor to people, man. You ain't nothing.
He does. He does.
I think you are pencil shuffling, weak knees, Mickey Mouse, honey bun eating.
All I know is this, man. Look, your job. If you're a coach,
just do your job.
Do your job. Go out there. You're the coach. The media's here to ask the questions. You do well, they're going to ask you nice questions. You don't do well, they're going to ask you harder questions. That's part of the job. I know that at Jackson State, where Dion had
your way.
He had more talent than everybody. You had your way. You always won, so no one cared. But guess what? You're at the show now. You said you won a chance at the show. You won a shot at the top level. Yep. Now you're at the top level. Yep. So what are you going to do with it? You're going to the Big 12. You know, the Pac-12 is no more. So now, Dion, you're in the Big 12. You know, the Big 12 lost Texas. They lost Oklahoma, so you don't have to worry about playing them. You got Baylor, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and the rest. So let's see what you got. Cincinnati.
Bring it on.
I wonder if Cincinnati plays Colorado this year.
I don't think they do. That's a horrible.
No, could you imagine if Coach Prime came to Cincinnati? That game be packed. There'd be 1 billion people there. You go to that game, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
Prime. You would. You love prime time. But no, I had to ask you that because that whole situation with me that rubs me the wrong way, man. Like Dion, he's making it a lot harder on himself than it has to be. I just think that when you're worried about the media, how are you getting your team prepared? Like, what are you doing to get your team prepared?
You can't
for week 1.
Worried about the media.
I just don't think that you're out there and you're getting ready for a very difficult schedule and what has to be a comeback year for you. I think that this
better do something.
In the Big 12, let's see, Colorado Buffaloes, they have a schedule. They got North Dakota State, to start. So they should get a win there. North Dakota State, it's a FCS program. So you would think they're going to get that win. But look, you have back-to-back road games. You got at Nebraska, so that's a Big Ten opponent, on the road. And then you got at Colorado State. Colorado State, the team almost beat you last year, and you came out talking cash crazy. Right. So, Colorado State's going to be, chomping at the bit to beat you. So you got road games against 2 very good teams right out the bat. Then you come back home and play a very good Baylor team. Back on the road at UCF, that's another difficult game. Number 16, Kansas State. Number 21, Arizona on the road. They do play Cincinnati, but it's at Colorado. Woo. So they don't get Colorado. Colorado doesn't get Cincinnati on the road, unfortunately. But then you're at Texas Tech, home versus Utah, number 12. Number 22, Kansas on the road, and then finish off the season versus number 17, Oklahoma State. There's a lot of good teams on this. Literally, Jay, outside of that home game versus North Dakota State, every other game is going to be very difficult for Colorado. So
what you trying to say is going to win, 4 games?
Well, no, my point being is that Dion has other things to be worried about than to worry about what the media is saying about him. And to me, him talking about this and putting so much oxygen into it, I just feel like he's spending more time worried about that than getting his team ready for a very difficult game. Like, to me, this tells me that man is feeling the pressure. He's looking at that schedule like, man, this is a whole lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, sir.
This ain't like playing at Jackson State where I got all the best players. Everybody else got the best players. I ain't got all the best players.
Can he coach?
Yeah.
Dion can coach?
Don't lose to Scott Satterfield. You might get fired right there.
Satterfield think he'd have won a national championship.
Boy, Scott Satterfield beats Colorado. Dion may not make it back to the locker room.
Really?
Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? That don't hate the messenger. But, we'll see. But, I mean, my point being is, Dion, please stop worrying about the media. Please stop putting a lot of energy into a bunch of mess that don't matter. Because all you're doing is just yelling into the face of a storm. It doesn't serve a purpose. Doesn't serve a purpose. You're not going to win that fight. So, that was one of the things that really just kind of caught my eye. But back on University of Louisville, Jay, as we get closer to game one, I've been thinking about who are the guys that I know I can count on. Who are the guys that, I think are going to step up? Who are maybe some guys that aren't being talked about that I think are going to have big time seasons? I'm very, very excited. I think that the defense, even though the defense has a couple of guys that are really, really good. We talked about Ashley Gelati on the line. We talked about Quincy Riley in the secondary. But there's a young man that I think is going to be a superstar for Louisville.
Who's that?
He's taken over at the spot where Jarvis Brownlee just left. Jarvis Brownlee is killing it for whichever team he got. I believe he got drafted by the Titans.
Yeah.
But Jarvis Brownlee is killing it at cornerback for the Titans. But he took over for Jarvis Brownlee. He's a transfer. He's coming over from Central Florida. His name is Corey Thornton. I think Corey Thornton this year is going to be an all-ACC defensive back.
Really?
And nobody's really talking about it. People are talking about Devin Neal. People are talking about MJ Griffin a little bit. People are definitely talking about Quincy Riley. And people, of course, remember that Aaron Williams, 6'3" cornerback from California, was the number one cornerback in the state of California coming out of high school last year. He was dealing with some injuries, but he's expected to play a big role. But the guy I think is going to have the biggest opportunity, a lot like Jarvis Brownlee. One of the reasons that Jarvis Brownlee was so well thought of was because nobody threw Quincy Riley's way last year. Nobody threw Quincy Riley. So guess what? Guess who got all the work? Jarvis Brownlee.
How tall is he?
Brownlee? Jarvis Brownlee was about 5'11". He was about 5'11", but he's just feisty. He was a transfer from Florida State originally. Well, once again, we got another Florida kid coming here. Corey Thornton was an all-ACC cornerback last year. I believe he was third on the team in tackles at UCF, had 4 interceptions, was just a playmaker. He was an absolute playmaker for UCF. I don't think people really understand how good this kid is. He's bigger than Brownlee. He's about 6'1", goes about 180 pounds. From Miami. He's a Miami kid originally. I think that that Corey Thornton has a chance to be an all-ACC player. I think he's going to be an all-ACC player this year. I think because Quincy Riley is going to be – they're not going to throw – people aren't going to throw his way. I think that they're going to test Thornton, and I think that Thornton's going to have an opportunity to make a lot of plays because Corey Thornton was the dude at UCF. People didn't throw his way, okay? They didn't throw his way. They went opposite. So now – he's going to be the guy that they try to work on. So, that's one name that I really like that maybe is not getting as much talk, is not getting as much conversation.
They play like that kid used to play for Louisville, that cornerback, and he played for the Green Bay Packers.
Jair Alexander?
Yeah, he play like him.
Ooh, that's he's very aggressive like that. I would say that he's one of those guys where you put him on an island, you line him up man on man, and he's going to fight you. He's going to fight you tooth and nail. So, I would say he is like Jair in that way. But, I mean, Jair Alexander, is one of the best 2 or 3 cornerbacks in the NFL. So, I'm not going to put that on Corey, but he is that type of player. He likes press man coverage, and I think with this secondary overall, the best thing about this Louisville team is that they're going to be able to blitz. They're going to be able to bring TJ Quinn. They're going to be able to bring, those second level guys on blitzes and on stunts because they know that those cornerbacks and safeties can stand up on the back end.
Wow.
So, man, I cannot wait, man. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see them out there. Corey Thornton is probably the first guy that I think about that I really think is going to make an impact um, on the offensive side of the ball. The one guy that I would say that I'm probably most excited about, people have been giving this young man a lot of praise. I probably would not have said his name, honestly, before this week. Isaac Brown, true freshman running back, was just named earlier this week a national All-American, freshman All-American as a running back. Apparently, he's been making a lot of waves in practice. People are very, very excited about Isaac Brown. They feel like he's going to have a big time impact freshman season. So I can't wait to see him. I think that in the Jeff Brom offense, you're always going to be worried about the run, which is, I think, why you get so many opportunities to run the ball because they're always worried about the pass. They're always worried about what's Brom going to do, throw it over the top. You don't want to give up the bomb. So I think that gives you running lanes. And Isaac Brown, as a player, he's about 5'11", probably goes about 220 pounds, 215, 220, but he's just lightning fast. He's a possession receiver. He can play in the slot out. You can split him out wide as a slot receiver. He can take the ball out of the backfield. I'm very, very excited to see him. Those are probably the two guys that I'm probably the most interested in. One on each side of the ball. Is there anybody that you want to see? Like, is there anybody that you're excited about or you're intrigued by? Like, who do you want to see?
Quarterback.
Now, do you like Tyler Shuck, or you just want to see what he's gonna do? Like,
I want to see what he's gonna do.
You want to see him get hit and get up.
Get up. I want to see exactly what he can do, what he's made of. Playing on the Jeff Brom's offense.
He did. He absolutely did. He played. I think that from what I understand about Tyler Shuck, he has the arm, he has the athleticism. They're not going to ask him to run when there are running situations. They're going to probably bring in Pierce Clarkson and let Pierce do the running, kind of like they did with Evan Conley last year. Conley was kind of designated as the running quarterback, so I think you'll see more of that this year. But Shuck is very athletic. Like the one thing about watching Jack Plummer run, it was kind of like watching like a big walrus try to run down the football field. He was just kind of waddling down the field. But the thing about Tyler Shuck has actual wheels. Like that kid, he runs maybe a mid 4.4 40, which is one of the reasons why he's gotten hurt so many times is because he's very athletic. So he tries to get out and run. Jeff Brom does not want him to run. He wants him to make plays from the pocket as much as possible. So I think we're going to see Shuck use his arm. He can make all the throws. He's very, very aggressive. Sometimes too aggressive, but people say they like that. They want somebody who's going to not hesitate, throw the ball over the top, make it happen down the field. So, I think that as long as he's healthy, I think you'll be happy with what you see with Tyler Shuck.
Do they have a kicker?
Adam Vinatieri, his son, Adam Vinatieri was the kicker for the Patriots for all those championships. Well, his son is actually a walk-on. I don't think that he's going to actually be the kicker this year, but he is on the team. But Louisville definitely has a couple of guys coming back. I think the kicking game, I know last year they let the punter do both the punting and the kicking. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think they're going to have designated. The kid that was punting and kicking last year, I think he's going to focus on just the punting. And then they do have a couple of transfer kickers that came in. So special teams should be better. I think it's going to be better. One of the parts where I thought Louisville did not get much done was in the special teams with the kick returns. They really didn't do much in the kick return game at all last year. So I think that's going to be a spot where I'm going to be looking for Isaac Brown, where he could maybe show his stuff, with his speed. I'd like to see that. Kateris Hicks is a young man who is a redshirt freshman. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to have some opportunity, as well as maybe Jaleel McClain. I think you can look for those guys to be a part of the special teams game. Um, I would expect hope. I am hopeful that Louisville can be a little bit better, because that's the one place where I think Louisville didn't do much. They didn't really do anything in special teams last year.
By the kickoff return.
I think same thing. Like, the NFL has these new kickoff return rules. Just for everybody's information, nothing has changed with the kick return rules in college football. Everything is still the same. Kickoff goes out the end zone, it goes to the 20. Out of bounds, you're at the 35, etc. So while the NFL is experimenting with a lot of these new things, I don't think you have to worry about any of that with college football. But I think that's going to be the biggest question, is like Louisville special teams. They didn't have. I think they kind of did special teams by committee last year. Like, they just kind of had everybody just kind of chip in with it. So I think they have a designated special teams coordinator now this year. Like, they have one guy running it. So they're hoping to get a little bit more consistency out of that. But no, I think the punting game is going to be very good. Kicking game, I'm not sure about. They were a little bit iffy last year.
Real iffy.
Yeah, kicking game was a little bit iffy last year, but no, I think all in all, I think special teams is going to be better with the guys that they have in there. I really love what Coach Brown did in the transfer portal with adding guys. He brought in like 2 or 3 kickers. So, I think he did a excellent job doing that. The biggest races right now, I want to see who's going to be the guys that step up at the tight end spot. Like, Louisville has so many tight ends. Mark Redmond came in late, but he was the guy. He was like either considered the number 1 or number 2 tight end in the transfer portal. So, you have those guys there. You would expect that they would be, that they would be very, very good. But I think that, you have Nate Kariski, who's back. Kariski was probably the number 1 tight end last year. You have Doug Martin, who's more of a H-back. He's going to play more of the fullback. But then, of course, you have, like we talked about earlier, Jeremy Johnson. You have some other guys who can step in there as well. But, I'm just excited. I would say, in terms of what you look for next week, I think what Louisville's going to do, especially now that Colin Lacey's out, Louisville went with a lot of 3 wide receiver sets last year, where you had 2 outside wide receivers, a receiver in the slot, 1 tight end, 1 running back. Okay. I think this year, especially early to start the year, what you're going to see Louisville do, I think schematically they're going to look more. You're going to see a lot of 2 tight end set. Okay. 2 tight end set basically means 1 wide receiver on the outside on this side, 1 wide receiver out on the outside this side, and then you're going to have a tight end at either end of the line. Okay. You're going to have 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, running back in the backfield. I like that for 2 reasons. First of all, when you got 2 tight ends in the game, you greatly help your running attack when you have 2 tight ends in the game. You can put a tight end in motion. It adds up a power element to your running game.
Yes, sir.
But then also, when you have those 2 tight ends in the game and you go into the passing game, you have 2 big targets down the seams. And that's usually a weakness for the defense, depending on how worried they are about your outside receivers. So I think Jeff Brom, he is a master playmaker. He's a guy who is great at scheming up offenses. I think we saw a little bit of what he likes to do with the 2 tight end sets against Miami last year. When Louisville had that big win at Miami, they schemed up a lot of 2 tight end. They were able to use Joey Gatewood. They were able to use Nate Kariski and get a lot done in those games using those 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver sets. I think that's going to be a big part of what Louisville is this year. I think that's going to be a big part of what they do. I think you're going to see a lot of Mark Redmond and Jeremy Johnson in the game together, or Mark Redmond and Nate Kariski in there together. with two wide receivers on the outside, probably Chris Bell, and then probably the transfer from Tennessee. I think the Callaway, Jimmy Callaway. I think you'll probably see a lot of Callaway and Bell out there, or maybe Jaden Thompson and Bell. That'll be the lineup early. That's what I expect until Louisville finds a more comfort level with the younger guys. I think Kateris Hicks, I think Jaleel McClain, I think those guys at some point will be able to help in the slot. I think Amari Huggins Bruce, as he gets more comfortable being back at Louisville, as long as his eligibility gets taken care of, they'll have a chance to kind of work him in second game, third game of the year. But I would say if you're a Louisville fan, look for a lot of that early. That two tight end, two wide receiver set. I really like that setup. I think Jeff Brom is excellent at drawing up plays out of that setup. So I think that's just going to give them a lot of versatility. So those are just kind of some of the things I expect.
We'll see what happens one game at a time. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. I'm just glad that we can actually talk about games, man. I mean, it was a long summer. A lot of talking about foolishness, a lot of basketball, a lot of Pat Kelsey. But we get to sit Pat Kelsey on down, sit him on to the side, and let's go ahead and get ready for some football.
He's gonna rock that crowd crazy at football.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's going to be a very, very raucous crowd. These fans are hungry. Card Nation is hungry. Everybody's nervous and excited about the opportunity for the playoff this year. Just the prospects of Louisville football in a college football playoff. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I think
it's going down.
It's gonna be awesome. So please get out there to L&N. I almost said Papa John's. Get out there to L&N Cardinal Stadium. It's gonna be going down. Make sure you check out wakeup502.com. You can actually purchase tickets if you want tickets for the Louisville game. You can purchase tickets through our website. Just go to wakeup502.com, click on the link, and you will get a discount on your tickets by going through wakeup502.com. So make sure you check those out. We will be covering all the games. We're going to have our man Roman Kelly on the sideline. He's going to be handling the photography and pictures for us this year. So we're going to get Roman broken in there, taking pictures. Of course, myself, Haven Harrington, Jay Has will be there as well. I think that we will probably look for post-game on the field if possible. After the games, we'll be streaming them here just like we're streaming today. We will be streaming those GameDay 502 post-game reports for you. So make sure you stay tuned in to check out that. We will give you an offensive player of the game. We will give you a defensive player of the game. We will give you the full game recap after we go in and talk to Coach Jeff Brom in the post-game press conference. So, Jay, I'm super excited, man. It is here. Football season is here, dog.
Super excited.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
once again, it's here.
No, we got about 5 minutes left. What? You have anything, any other sports, any other ridiculous? You always like to take me down weird little rabbit holes. Is there anything else going on?
Well, let's talk about this real quick about Cameron Myers just transferred to his college, and what do you expect of his season coming up, and what do you see your son doing?
Shout out to Cam. I appreciate my son's vigor for getting this process started. We just dropped him off at college. He's going to be playing basketball there at CU Harrodsburg. He's doing so far so good. I think he's made a very nice impact. The coaches love him. They love his energy. He's already taken a leadership role. So I like it. I like it. I think he's going to have a very good season. So
what do you really, Cameron's what, 6'8", 6'7"?
Cam is 6'6", going on 6'7". He plays shooting guard, and small forward. He's got great size. He's got great athleticism for the position. He's an excellent defensive player, a good shooter, great passer.
Great academics, great steward.
Very good athletics. I don't know if he can play for the Bills. He's a little skinny for the Bills though. But but just super excited, man. We're still a month out from practice. They're still in conditioning and all that stuff. But he's doing well in the first open run. So it's a process, Jay.
Well,
it's
if you're out tonight on this beautiful TGI Friday, this Friday evening, come on by to more Shenanigans.
Please come out.
Great beer, great drinks, great food, great atmosphere. They got karaoke up at about 10:30 or so, and
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yeah, they got coming up 10 o'clock. 9:30.
9:30 at Hope. They're gonna just push us out the way.
Just come on,
table and all.
Just come on in.
Right. Jay has said he's gonna sing the first song, and he's taking requests from the fans and listeners. He said if Jay has said whatever song y'all want to sing, he will sing it. So Jay Has is gonna.
It's always a great opportunity to be a part of a great stewardess bar. This bar is one of the best bars I've ever been in.
Absolutely.
Great atmosphere. Great people.
It's
great owner.
A wonderful time.
Great owner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Don't forget, come in. We got our little giveaway. We got our secret Jay Has prize pack.
Yeah.
So come on out here. We got this for you. All you gotta do is say you heard us. GameDay 502, and it is yours. You get that? Come on out. Yeah. Hey, you can't already be here. That's cheap.
It ain't cheap. That's cheap. You disqualified, sir. You disqualified, sir.
But come on out. We will be waiting for you. Come get some food. Come get some drinks. Sing a little bit. Have a little bit of fellowship. It'll be awesome. I'm definitely gonna be out there singing. Y'all know I got to get it in a little bit. So I like to entertain the people. So it's gonna be going down, Jay. But
it's always a great opportunity to be a part, like I say, of his great bar, More Shenanigans. The owner, we appreciate for all what he does. And
Jay, what's the menu for? What's on the menu for tonight? What you eating?
I don't know. The roast beef sandwich.
Ooh, that sounds good.
The roast beef sandwich. Ooh, that sounds real good. Is it like Arby's?
It's like Arby's.
It ain't like want to say hello to the bartender tonight.
Absolutely.
Come on in. She's gonna take care of you.
She's gonna take care of you. She's rocking
she
the
is.
UofL.
Gonna take care of you.
The red and black.
She's gonna rock it. All right.
She's wearing the right colors, so that's awesome.
We're so grateful and thankful that the owner allowed us to do what we do.
Yes.
Wake Up 502 Sports Show. We'll be live tomorrow at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 11. Check
96.1 FM.
We will be getting you down. We will be getting all of your bettings, your overs, your unders, your thoughts on the team. We'll get Romy Bean, his thoughts. Haven Harrington, he will be with us as well. So check us out. 96.1 FM, 1450 a.m.
10 o'clock you have
At 10 o'clock you have the Jay Has special. Jay Has will be joining us with his foolishness.
Yes,
Ain't no telling what he'll be talking about. He'll probably be talking about something that happens here at More Shenanigans. So if you want to know the other side of Jay Has' story, come out and be a part of it live.
Always
coming out here, 4521 Bardstown Road. Thank you very much, More Shenanigans. Thank you very much, everybody listening, checking us out online.
Yes, sir.
This has been awesome. For Jay Has, this is Rashawn Myers. And without struggle,
there is no progress.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.